Almost 40 years ago, this factory in Bhopal, in India, had a leak that released tons of poisonous gas.
Those who fell never got up, and everyone was just asking for one thing: God give us death, or Allah give us death.
The results led to a supply of toxic water, which is still affecting locals.
It isn't bitter, it tastes weird.
These are chemicals that stay in the environment for hundreds of years, and they cause extensive damage to lungs, kidney, brain, cancers, birth defects.
This incident continues to have a disastrous impact and has been linked to the deaths of thousands of Indian residents over the years. The Bhopal gas leak of 1984 is considered one of the world's worst industrial disasters. It's even harmed babies developing in the womb. Siddhesh Polkandwar is 22 years old. His mother, Meeta Polkandwar, is feeding him chapati and mashed veggies for lunch. Siddhesh was born with cerebral palsy. He is unable to walk, sit, or eat without assistance. It's difficult for his mother to provide him with the care he needs because she has her own health issues.
I have to clean him. His diapers need changing, he needs bathing, and then I have to feed him. He cannot do anything with his own hands. Whatever has to be done, I have to do it. To get him ready, lift him on his wheelchair, everything.
Meeta is almost 50 and has many medical ailments, including epilepsy. She lives with her mother, Surekha Lakkewar, who at 70 years of age is the main caregiver for both Meeta and her grandson, Siddhesh. Meeta started having seizures after the gas leak. Siddhesh was born 2 decades later with major health complications. Like thousands of other victims, his story is a continuation of the tragic legacy of this disaster.
During the gas leak, it felt like our eyes were burning and we could not speak. It hurt badly. It felt like somebody poured chilies in our eyes and as if somebody choked our throats.
Surekha's family were all affected by the aftermath of the gas leak. The catastrophe turned her world upside down. After Siddhesh was born with neurological conditions, his father abandoned him and Surekha became their primary caregiver.
Before the gas leak, we were a healthy family. We had no medical problems. We didn't need any medication, although we did all have some issues with our eyes. Our eldest daughter had issues with her vision, so she needed glasses. Our youngest daughter developed really severe health issues after the leak. We all got sick, and it has not improved since then. We are always sick with something.
In 1984, 40 tons of deadly methyl isocyanate known as MIC gas leaked from the pesticide plant in Bhopal. 3,000 people had died within the first few hours. Official numbers estimate around 15,000 victims, but activists say it is nearly 4 times that number. The catastrophe led to significant changes in India, and for the first time, the focus shifted to protect people and the environment from industrial accidents. As a response to the tragedy, the government introduced new laws such as the Environment Protection Act. But the company responsible, Union Carbide, never faced justice. Though charged with culpable homicide, its chief executive refused to face trial in India. However, the company did agree to a $470 million payout in 1989. Methyl isocyanate is known to damage human DNA by interacting with proteins. In 1985, the National Institute for Research in Environmental Health and the Indian Council for Medical Research conducted research finding that 9% of the 1,048 babies born to mothers exposed to the toxic gas were born with congenital disorders, compared to 1.3% of the 1,247 babies born to unexposed mothers. This data shows a strong correlation between the gas leak and birth defects, but it was never released to the public. Activists question the motivations for keeping this data secret, alleging collusion between the government and Union Carbide, along with its current owner, Dow Chemical. One of the victims, Rashida B., is helping children born to exposed parents. Her center, Chingari, provides them with free health care and rehabilitation programs. She says the effects of the gas leak was also a disaster for environmental justice.
340 tons of waste is in a room, but underneath that, the soil is filled with 1.1 million tons of waste, and it continues to poison the surroundings. The government isn't talking about the cleanup, only about the waste.
In 2009, two Indian government institutes conducted a study determining the factory site still contains about 1 million tons of contaminated soil, 1 tons of mercury spillage, and nearly 150 tons of hazardous waste buried underground. There is also 330 metric tons of toxic waste in the factory itself. Today, the factory is deserted, but goats are still grazing the grounds and people still trespass in what should be a containment zone. The area around the factory is densely populated, and many reports state that the groundwater has become extremely toxic. Professor Indumati Nambi of India's Department of Civil Engineering, IIT Madras, was appointed by India's Supreme Court to examine water contamination in the area. In 2018, she tested 20 samples taken from around the factory premises.
We did find chlorinated compounds at significantly high concentrations in these water, so which were connected to the chemicals which were used in the Union Carbide plant. And it is well-known fact that these organic chemicals can stay around for decades after the spill occurs.
In accordance with several court orders and findings from various scientific studies, the government is mandated to provide safe drinking water to 42 different areas in Bhopal. This is an increase from the 14 areas that it was responsible for just 15 years ago, which indicates the wide spread of contamination. Lata Devi, another gas leak survivor, still depends on tube wells.
It is not bitter, but it tastes strange. The chemical is still in the ground, so I can taste it. Union Carbide is there and we are here. It's not far at all.
According to scientists like Indumati Nambi, the contaminant plume may have reached other areas, and she says that a more comprehensive assessment is needed.
And typically, chlorinated compounds are supposed to be toxic. The more the number of chlorine atoms, the more is the toxicity. Some of them have been reported to be carcinogenic, neurological effects, reproductive effects. They have known to cause all those effects.
Rachna Dhingra also believes that Union Carbide is the culprit for this catastrophe. Now the company is owned by Dow Chemical, the second largest chemical manufacturer in the world. Rachna is a social activist who has dedicated her life to fighting for justice for the environment, survivors of the Bhopal gas leak, and future generations. She believes the disaster is one of the biggest corporate massacres of all time.
Because it is how badly Union Carbide followed the waste management practices. They basically dug up 20 unlined pits within the factory where they used to routinely dump. And from 1977 to 1984, they dug up 3 solar evaporation ponds where they dumped thousands of tons of toxic waste and their affluents in there. That lining that they put in there breached in 82. Carbide knew about this but never told the local people, never even told the Pollution Control Board.
Even though Dow Chemical settled a US lawsuit and paid damages, it has refused to clean up the site of the Bhopal leak. Nor has it provided safe drinking water to the affected residents. Several plans to clean up the site have been proposed, but nothing has happened. The German Agency for International Cooperation (GIZ) proposed airlifting the waste to Germany for incineration, but was forced to withdraw the offer after internal protests arose. Has the industry learned anything from this tragic loss of life and the horrendous aftermath that followed? We're meeting with Gautam Kothari, who's the head of the largest association of industries in Pithampur in central India, to find out. Kothari says that many small and medium-scale companies ignore safety regulations, dumping waste directly in pits.
The cost of disposal is really creating a massive problem. It's very difficult. Another problem is that the waste that is just being dumped in the closed units in Madhya Pradesh. Nobody is taking care of the waste in those units.
So this is hazardous waste?
Yes, that's the problem. It pollutes the groundwater.
Industrial chemical spills and gas leak are still common across India.
Our pollution agencies, pollution control boards are not doing their jobs. Our factory inspectors, we do not have enough to inspect the factories. And there is a simple hazard happening all around us, unchecked and unbattered. And it continues because it is all considered business as usual.
The gas leak has become a major milestone since India gained independence, but the silence around the event has become deafening. I tried to approach the minister responsible to create plans for a cleanup, but he declined to appear on camera, saying he is not allowed to speak with foreign press. Back at her home, Surekha is concerned about what will happen to her family after she is gone.
There is no one else here. What if I get sick? My daughter cannot do anything. What will happen to them when I go? I can't stop thinking about that these days.
The Bhopal gas disaster happened almost 40 years ago. Many people may have forgotten about it, but thousands of families in India are still affected.